excited that you're here.
Because I'm excited to be here, and this is my first show of the tour, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Officially, H-Town is number one on Raphael Saadiq's tour list. It's the Jimmy Lee Tour in town tonight at Warehouse Live.
Yeah.
Now, how long has it been since you've been just doing anything, like hitting the stage? How long has it been?
I think it's been almost. I don't. I've been doing like spot dates here a little bit, but this is the first tour. Like it's been 8 years.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Raphael. What were you doing all that time?
I was working on Insecure.
Okay.
I scored that show. I worked on produced a seat at the table for Solange. Also worked on another TV show called Underground.
So you've been busy professionally.
Oh yeah, I'm busy.
I'm
stay
talking about
busy.
in your personal
personal.
life. What have you
Personal.
been
I just
doing?
I'm a foodie. I just go around eating in nice restaurants, eating really good food, and then just
Speaking of food, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I haven't had breakfast. That's the problem.
You know, it's so funny. I know this album is called The
Coffee.
Jimmy Lee Tour, and it's in essence about vices, not just your brother, your older brother's addiction to heroin, but it's when I listen to it, it's about any of our vices. So I know you don't know that I know this, but I heard that you like chocolate, like that's your vice.
Chocolate is my vice. I've been trying to get not
Pause,
completely.
dirty minds, not chocolate women, chocolate foods.
Um,
Oh wait, he said chocolate women too. We'll take it.
I mean, no, when I wake up, sometimes I just want some coffee and I want like a chocolate croissant. And there's this place that's right down the street from my crib, and they have the best chocolate croissants. And I'm trying not to do it all the time, but it's just so good.
I mean, your physique looks good. What you holding back for? Is it just health or what?
No. Just too much anything's not good.
That's a word.
So I mean, I get my run and I do a lot of different things, but it's just anything just. Too much of anything is just not good. And chocolate croissant is really good,
I'm just going to say this, Raphael, because you're busy. I'm sure it's a task trying to maintain health when you're on the go. You don't eat well all the time. If you eat in a day, it's a plus. So I figured you hadn't had breakfast. So you see that box right there? It's a Shipley's box. That's like a Houston thing.
This is like
Open
terrible.
it up.
I can't do that.
Open it up.
No, I can't.
It's
do
some chocolate donuts in there. It's a couple. It might be a blueberry. I couldn't do blueberry pancakes, but it might be a blueberry donut in there.
I'm in Houston. I'd rather have some grits, bacon, and eggs.
Listen, I didn't have time for all of that, right?
I gotta go to that. I gotta go straight to the grits. I'm a grits kid.
Are you?
What I mean? I grew up on grits.
There's a stick.
What's that?
See, it's a southern thing. Never mind.
It's a stick?
Grits stick. It's
Oh, they
it should
stick, right?
to you.
They stick. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thing.
That's your thing.
But I'm in Houston, so I know I can go find it.
You can.
I'm gonna find something good everywhere.
We have Breakfast Club. Have you ever been there?
I've been to Breakfast Club.
Okay. We have a couple of different spots. So when you leave here, we'll make sure you get something. Okay.
We're gonna make sure.
All right. So a little bit more about the album. The Jimmy Lee album is out now.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about your process with the album. I know you said people kept asking you, when is the album coming? And finally, it's here.
Yeah, my process with this record was just to add to what I've been doing. I have a great legacy before, and I just wanted to add on to it. And Jimmy Lee just was a record that I wanted to give to people about everybody has a Jimmy Lee in their life. Jimmy Lee was a heroin addict. But he was also my brother. We were like 15 years in age, was apart from each other. I lost another brother who murdered himself because he couldn't stop doing drugs. His name was Desmond. And my other brother was murdered over drugs when I was 7. And then my brother, Jimmy, shot heroin and he passed away. He died in a garage. He OD'd.
Wow.
And so all this time I've been making records not about anything like that. And I just felt like I wanted to make a record that talked about people that have these addictions, and we never actually get a chance to really talk to people when it happens or before it happens. And this was a record I didn't want people to feel like it's like a Debbie Downer, but I wanted you to feel the record and feel like you can actually play it in the house with your family, or you could play it on radio, you could play it anywhere. And my expertise was like, how do I make a record that everybody can feel and love and like, and it also can be a commercial bounded record. Yeah. And that's what Jimmy Lee is about. I'm going around just promoting good music. It's fun as hell to play it. We play it really damn good. It's gonna be a good show. And
Okay.
if you haven't seen a good show in the last couple weeks, this is one you should see.
So
It's
you
Jimmy
brought your
Lee.
band.
I brought my band. Yeah,
Okay.
brought my band. Yes.
Now I know having a band is a lot lost art form with all the technology we have these days, but I love that that's your essence and it's where you're trying to get back to. So when you bring a band, I just saw Teddy Riley perform and he had like 13 keyboards. And I'm like, why does he have so many keyboards on the stage? He had two sets of drummers. And I'm like, I got it. He's a producer. So in his mind, this science on that stage, he wants to feel it just as he feels it in the studio, solid, full. So is that
You're
what you
right.
look for as a performer as well?
Yeah, definitely. You definitely wanting things surrounded around you is gonna make you feel good. But Teddy's a whole different beast.
Yes,
You know,
he
you can call me crazy. Yeah, Teddy's a whole different beast. But no, my band is not as big, but you just want that full sound, and bands are always gonna be around. It's just like in urban music, it's not really a big thing because urban always gets sold pretty much short.
Okay.
But even though we created it all. So, like, if we're holding it up, we got to hold up that banner for the ones that don't know how to do it. Or,
Yeah.
country music is not playing with tracks. They're actually playing. It's some of the biggest music ever. So I just feel like, if you do it good, my band is small as four, it's including me.
Oh, yeah. I got
So I used my bands would be like 12 people sometimes.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about the science because what I've noticed about you, you're all over the place and people don't even know half of the things that you're touching. So as a musician, how many instruments? Let's start there. How many instruments do you play?
Uh, Maybe four.
Four.
You know, bass guitar, drums, keyboards, guitar. I used to play trombone. That's my second instrument was trombone. So I played trombone in jazz band. I never became trombone shorty out of New Orleans. I wasn't that good,
Mm,
but I could play.
okay.
Yeah.
And when you first picked up an instrument, I know you said before there were people on your corner of your neighborhood that would sit out and do jams, basically. So, did you just decide, hey, I saw that guy playing that, I want to pick up that instrument? How did you decide your
Well,
method to?
I was just trying not to get shot. I'm from Oakland, and and a lot of people were getting shot, and things were happening. And it seemed like all the cooler people were playing instruments, and even the ones that were shooting people was really cool too.
Wait a minute.
They were the ones that you know what, you should play music, And I had brothers that would shoot people. I grew up in a beautiful family, but I grew up in a no joke type of family.
Mm-hmm.
But music was the one thing that was the universal language in my neighborhood. It was music, church, choirs, jazz band. There was always a talent show somewhere where you could join. You can go to audition to be in a talent show or whatever. And music just felt like, my first ever concert, my sister took me to see the OJs. I was like,
Nice.
people
Ain't a bad
all
way
over the
to
world. I was like, join hands. And I seen all these people, these cars driving up to see this group called the OJs. And I was like, I think I want to be a part of that.
But no one in your household played instruments? Nobody was touching music in the house besides playing the music? Who else
Yeah,
in
yeah.
your
Of course, my
family?
brother Dwayne was in the Tonys. Dwayne played guitar. My brother Randy he's a keyboard player and he sang. My uncle, all his kids play. All my family, a lot of them are from the South,
Okay.
and so they came here,
That's right. New Orleans? Are you guys
Louisiana,
from Louisiana.
from
Nice.
Monroe, Shreveport. They were all kind of like playing music before me, so I was like, this is the way I get to hang around them if I play music.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you decide which artists you work with? Like I can imagine people wanting to line up to work with you, but how do you decide who you're working with? Do
Oh,
you let
that's
the
so
music
cool.
choose you?
There's no line, but
Whatever, Raphael. Sir.
there's kind of a line, but
How do you decide who you work with? Bonfire was here recently. She spoke so highly of you. Like she sang your graces. So even the newer artists coming along, nobody forgets you. So how do you decide what's on your plate?
well, it sort of picks me honestly, and then you can figure out if you can actually do something for that person. And if you feel like you can enhance someone's career if they already have talent, then that's something you get into. You get into. So that's how I kind of pick.
So you
But
said if they have talent, you heard that. Have you ever worked with somebody and you're like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do anything with this?
no, sometimes I've thought that, like even with Toto, with Puffy's group Toto, when I did Kissing You for them. I didn't know what I could do for them. It's not like they weren't talented. I just didn't know what I could do.
You did Kissing You. Wait a minute. Kissing you is.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a gamut of things you've touched that we don't even know you've touched. Right there in that vein, who else have you done big records for that maybe the world didn't know? Like, do
I
you
did
have any?
Soul Sister for Balaj. I'm for
Really?
Bilal. I
Bilal.
call him Balaj.
Wow.
Bilal. Everybody pretty much know I did Lady for D'Angelo,
Mm-hmm.
and I did Untitled
I didn't know that.
for D'Angelo.
That's
I
your
did Love of
guy.
My Life for Mary J. for Erica Badu.
Really?
What else?
You probably forgotten half of the stuff you've done because your career has been amazing.
Yeah, I did Cranes on the Sky. Cranes in the Sky for
Hmm.
Solange.
How did y'all
Uh,
hook up? You know, that's our H Town girls. How did y'all
H
hook up?
Town. We just was always really cool. And when she went, we both did a '60s records on Columbia at the same time.
Hmm.
Our first record was a '60s type of record, and then we were doing some shows together, and then we decided to hook up years and years. I think I had Cranes in the Sky 8 years before she got it, the
You
music.
said 8 years.
8 years. So I just gave her that music 8 years later. She had it and she just wrote to it 8 years later.
Wow. So you just picking stuff. Here, you can have this. You take this.
Yeah.
So you find what you have in your vault and find the artist that fits it. Is that how you work?
No, I just play things for people, and if they feel like they can do something with it, and she said, you know what? She was writing for me for that song
Wow.
years ago, but she never did. And then she wrote something for herself, but she wanted the track, but I couldn't find the files. So what she's singing over is a 2-track. It's like all the music was already. She couldn't split it up to mix it because it was all just like one.
She'll just take it as it is.
She took it as it was, and we just added a little bit on it, but pretty much it
Listen,
was all there.
what we hear, we're not mad at it. So method to your
That's just the
madness.
H-Town talent. You guys got it out here. Look at she just got it like that.
Speaking of H Town, I love the fact. How did you meet up with Devin the dude? Devin is our
the
cat.
Dude
What
is
up,
my
Devin?
favorite. My favorite to this day. Devin the Dude should be a president
Listen,
of
we
hip-hop.
love Devin.
What
Day one.
every time I listen to Johnny Guitar Watson, and I think about Devin the Dude. Every time I see a Cadillac, I think about Devin the
So
Dude. And plus,
talented.
my best friend, good friend, is Tony Draper from Swap House.
What?
Yeah, me and Tony Draper talk every day.
Dude, you're
For
not from the Bay.
years.
You Southern. You are Southern.
Yeah.
Wow. I think you're just a cool cat, Raphael. I think for years you've had. We live in a different world in this digital world where social media
course.
you can, but you came in a time where we didn't have any of this. So seeing the true essence of an artist, we had to wait till you came to the city or something like that. But you seem like the same cool cat that you probably were back then. So how do you look at where we are now with social media? Do you get with it, or do you still say, that ain't my thing? Or your mystique has always made us wonder. Like, I put you and Andre 3000 in the category. I'm like,
Right.
I wonder what they do. Are they walking around with toes and sandals on the beach? Like, y'all just have
Oh
this
yeah,
mystique.
definitely.
So
That's it. If I could live here and be in the Bahamas and not live here, I'd be out. But no, I get with it. I understand social media, I understand all the platforms, and I think it's pretty good for artists because I just feel like now. Like, I don't call labels the label, but I call them the energy because my assistant, Whitney, if I didn't call it the energy, she would be like, the label wants this, the label, and I don't want to hear label. I've been in the business for 30 years. So if we call it the energy. So the energy forces me
that's crazy.
to, the energy forces me to be a part of social media. And I have also a video game company.
Really?
Yeah, we make games, and I've been doing that for like 12 years. So I'm pretty much way past what social media is. I'm on a whole nother level of it. So I understand that we need to be like,
There.
letting people
people
know
are.
where we're at, talking about it, and you just have to be creative in your medium, in your space. So what I've done is been very creative with on my platform.
Are you
on social
business
media.
savvy? I mean, I hear you talking about this gaming thing, and you've always been ahead of your time the way you think. So, what do you like in the business sense? I know Prince was very smart. Michael Jackson, people don't have a clue of how he was playing chess when it comes to business. So, would you say over the years you've been pretty savvy with taking care of your business and being able to sustain
Yeah.
who you are?
I haven't been the best in the beginning. I was pretty much, we call in Oakland, game goofy. I wasn't on it like I was supposed to be, but like the last, maybe like 15 years is when I really started paying attention to it the right way. It takes a minute. Everybody's never really that savvy in the beginning.
Yeah.
You just, it
Any
takes a
tips
minute.
for
It
artists
takes a
coming up
minute.
on something you experienced to help them not go through it? Pay attention to this.
Yeah, pay attention to like, your publishing, sign your own checks. Don't let the crew get too big, Don't let anybody call you a boss. Don't let people like say you the man, because those type of people that are around you just want to just they're not bad people, all these people around you, but they're just around you until it falls. And if you keep
Yeah.
you gotta keep your circle like a Cheerio. You know.
Small. All right, just a few more, and I know you're going to have to wrap up. But if Raphael, it's like the Ninja Turtles, Raphael, if you could encapsulate who you are as an artist, say if you had to put a time capsule together and put only 5 songs that make up who you are, your essence, which 5 songs of yours would you choose? Anything you've touched, which 5 go in the vault?
I would say Anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Good Man.
Okay.
I would say Ask of You.
All good.
I would say Blind Man, which is a song called Blind Man. And I would say today, I would say Something Keeps Calling.
Okay, I like that. Good man. Are you a good man?
I'm the
In
best
essence,
man.
you can't just say you're the best man.
I'm the best I know. My dad passed away, so I'm second.
I like that. Where my mind was going with it, the things you've kind of had to suppress in order to stay sane.
Mhm.
Now you're letting that out in the music.
Yeah.
But I wonder, like they say, you see life as you are, not as it is, but how you are. So has any of the suppressing of your family things had you not do relationships or look at relationships a little differently? Like, have you been able to function properly in relationships based on everything you've seen?
I think I functioned pretty good with relationships. Only thing that was different, my dad and my mom weren't together
We're
from
not.
when I was 7. They were like friends, but they weren't married. You know what I mean? So, and I've seen like good relationships. I saw bad ones. So I pretty much stayed out of the marriage thing because I just seen too many people getting their money taken. I was like, I don't seem too cool.
Do you
But
still have that perspective?
no, not at all. I was in a relationship for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that's
That was a
basically
marriage.
right?
Yeah.
So, just you need a partner. Like my dad said, you weren't put in the world to be alone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't think that hindered me anything, but I just think that all the family trauma that happened, I was suppressing that. And then this record helped me talk about it and also help other people because, Black people don't believe in therapy. We just don't. And we do now. A lot of us do go to therapy, but I haven't been. So music has been very therapeutic for me. Mm-hmm. And I was figuring myself out through the Tonys, through Lucy Pearl,
Mm-hmm.
through my solo records and meeting people and talking to people, traveling the world abroad and meeting people, talking about politics. All of those things helped me become who I am. So I've been, say, I just been I've been a work in progress. I've been trying to
We all are.
figure it out.
Yeah.
And I'm no different from the person who has a 9-to-5 job. And that's just how I've always seen it. And most of my friends who have 9-to-5 jobs have more money than people who work in the record industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm closer to my friends that have jobs.
Because you're a cool cat. Like, you look like you don't go around with an entourage. It might be you, and I don't know who who do you roll with? Are you usually solo?
I'm usually solo. Like, you catch me at a sushi restaurant by myself.
Are you you taking photos? You like, I ain't trying to deal with it. How
No,
are you
if
with
somebody
people?
roll up, I'll take a picture.
Okay.
It's no big deal. It costs me nothing. I'm not gonna go. I'll do it. I don't take it like that. The industry like that. It's like we're very fortunate to be in something where people like us, and it's a luxury to do what we do.
Absolutely.
And I honor that.
Amen. I almost said amen. Are you spiritual?
Of course. Well, I grew up Baptist. My mom's Baptist. My friends are Kojic, so I played at Church of God in Christ. I played bass in Kojic. My dad used to hang out with Malcolm X.
What?
And Catholic churches used to let us use their portables for our band to rehearse when we were like junior high school. So I'm very anointed.
You better say that. At least you know, like.
Oh, I know, 100%.
You know that you're chosen. I heard you say before that your dad told you were a mistake.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he gave your mama money to go get an abortion, and she went. Where'd she go?
She went to Safeway and spent the money. She just heard that I said that. Somebody sent it to her. She said, "Did you say that?" I'm like, "Well, you told me." So like, it's funny. No, I was definitely. I feel like I'm chosen, and God don't make any mistakes, and I feel like I'm the one to have to speak to people the way that I'm speaking to people in records. And with this record, Jimmy Lee, it's taken on a life of its own that I didn't even think that was gonna happen. So I just feel like I'm just a vessel, and I'll just honor that.
I think anybody who gets the opportunity to be in the music industry, you are a vessel. You got to choose how you use it, for dark or for light. I'm just thinking about. Did you know Big Shiz?
I didn't know Big Shiz. It's funny. I just saw a picture that Susuela, a friend of mine,
I know, from Chicago.
Yeah. She put up, and I'm looking to look like Rick Ross.
You did look like Rick Ross
in the picture. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was another musical giant, and a lot of people in the industry knew him. But he carried that well, knowing it's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be in this industry. So I'm glad you know that.
Right.
So real quickly, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm getting a finger. I wanted to do a game real quick called "That Ain't What I Said."
Okay.
And we've been listening to Tony music for so many years. A lot of us, when we were younger, now that we're older, we've been saying the wrong lyrics all these years. So I needed you to clear some things up. All right. So the first one, just me and you. What are the names that you're really saying? Don't worry about Johnny, Jimmy. What are the names?
Every member in New Edition is what I'm saying. I'm a New Edition fan, and I just Bobby, Ricky, Johnny, Ralph, Mike, and Bobby, all of them.
Seriously, New Edition names.
All New Edition names.
Who knew? All right, so whatever you want. I don't wish you no bad luck, baby. I don't wish you no strain or stress. What is he saying? Strain.
No.
You don't even know.
I think it's pain.
No, it's an S word.
It's strain.
It's an S.
Yeah, it's strain.
Let's call Dwayne.
It's strain.
Call Dwayne and ask Dwayne.
Dwayne don't even know what he says. Strain.
You don't even know. Okay. All right. One more. This is from a listener. They asked, this wasn't about a lyric. They said, "Ask of You." Was it the Higher Learning soundtrack? You don't even know. I need you to know.
It was Higher Learning.
It was Higher Learning. Okay. So I know the answer to this, but I'll let you answer it. How did you get on the soundtrack, and who the heck is Deja?
John Singleton is the reason why I score and score film, because he always told me I should score film, and he put me in Boys in the Hood with Just Me and You, and then he put me in Poetic Justice and Higher Learning. I got songs in at least 3 or 4 of his movies.
All the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're a classic man.
John is the man.
R.I.P. John. Man, we lost a big one there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we're still living the soundtrack. You're helping us create the soundtracks to our life, and we love you for it. Thank you for stopping in Houston. The Jimmy Lee Tour is coming to a city near you if you're not in Houston, and the album is out. Pick it up. I'm ready to see this band. So
yeah, come see it. We'll be back. We're gonna be here today and tomorrow, and I'll be back. This is just the beginning. This is just really the beginning of Jimmy Lee.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again, Raphael Saadiq. Thank you.
Thank you.